Okay, today we got a fun one. We are taking a look at the Sohamo A3 coming up in this video. What's up everyone? Today we are looking at the Sohamo A3. This is a mini e-bike from Sohamo. So looking at it overall, you can tell this is a very small bike. I would classify it as a mini e-bike. I often call these clown bikes because they're so tiny. So to start, we can just look at the overall design of it. Really small bike, 14-inch tires for the front and rear. 14-inch tire is really small. My son's bike uses 14-inch tires and my son is 4 years old. So that should give you a good example of just how tiny these tires are. You can see everything is very low, so it's very easy to step on and off. It uses front and rear mechanical disc brakes. For the handlebars, it has a twist throttle on the right and a key here that turns it on and off. And then this display here shows you your battery power. Then over on the left side here, it's got the button for a light. It has these 3 controls here for 3 levels of pedal assist. Kind of funny, you just kind of click them along. And then the thing that I really liked, I think all bikes should have, is electronic horn. And it saves a lot of space by having it as part of this whole system here. The handlebars can be adjusted up and down, and they can also fold as well. This is a folding bike, so you can fold it right there in the middle if you want. Funny thing about this bike is that it has this rear rack that they put a cushion on. Can't really fit a person on there. Maybe a little tiny kid, but even then you wouldn't really want to do that. It is funny to have that there, and people do ask me about why is there a seat on the back. So I like having it. I think it's funny. This is a single speed bike, so no derailleur, no shifting gears. That being said, this isn't a bike that you're going to pedal really because it's kind of small, and with the small tires you're not really going to get much pedaling power from it, so it's really more of a throttle bike. The battery goes under the seat here, and you lift it up like this. There's a little button here that raises it up, and then you take the battery out. The funny thing is you have to physically plug the battery in to the motor. It's a 48 volt 16 amp hour 768 watt hour battery. It's a pretty big looking battery for such a tiny bike. It has a front headlight and these funny little tiny suspension. It doesn't do a lot, but it is there. No rear light on this bike, so that's something to be aware. If you are riding at night, you'll want to add something to the back so that you can be visible from behind. That's a look at the overall bike, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out and do some deliveries, doing some DoorDash and Uber Eats, and we'll talk about the bike and see how it performs. Okay, so we're off, and we got our first order. This is a DoorDash order from U Garden. It's a Chinese restaurant just up the way a bit. So yeah, the Sohamo A3, this is a hilarious bike because it's so tiny. You can pedal this bike, and the pedal assist works fine, but it really does not go that fast if you it really does not go that fast if you pedal it. And you kind of look like a clown if you pedal it, so I wouldn't pedal it. This is really more of a bike you use like a scooter. Comfort-wise, I like it. I mean, you know, obviously you don't want to be a big person, but if you're just a regular size, I'd say if you're under 200 pounds, then you're good. There's no speedometer on this bike, so you don't know how fast you're going. I do have a speedometer app on my phone though, so I'm actually going to pull that one up and let's see if we can see how fast we go. So, you know, this bike is pretty good. I mean, it's got some speed to it. I mean, I'm at 15 miles an hour here. 15 miles per hour going slightly uphill. 16 miles per hour now. 17 miles an hour. So, you know, this bike can get in the 20 mile per hour range stuff. And it's so little and nimble, you can see you can fit through small spaces pretty quickly. Anyway, here we are now at U Garden, so we'll pick up this order. It's just a quick DoorDash order, not paying that much. One thing I like about this bike, it's got a key. You take the key out, now you can't ride off with it. I mean, you can ride off with it, but you can't use electric on it. Hey, for Nurnimesh.
Right here.
Thank you. And then I put the key in and start it up, just like a little car. So yeah, the twist throttle on this is good. And I like twist throttles more than thumb throttles. I find they're a little easier to use. So when you hold the throttle for a little bit, after a bit, it turns on the cruise control. And so then it just goes. You don't even have to hold the throttle, which is nice, you know, you have to get used to it. And then if you want to just stop it, you just hit anything, you know, brake, whatever, and it'll stop the cruise control. Whoa, that's a big speed bump there. Don't take this thing on bumps. In fact, you gotta go around speed bumps with this one. I think we are here. Should be right here, this one. So while we're waiting for the customer to take another quick look at the bike here, you can see it is a small bike. Hey, how you doing?
Thank you.
Yep, take care.
You too.
Okay, we got that delivery completed. And now we've got a Grubhub order from Sohamo. So we're gonna go grab that order next. There are a lot of well thought out features with this bike because having the key is nice. And then over here, the light, the light is good. It's only a front light, so no rear light, so you'll need to get something if you want people to be able to see from behind. And then it's got the internal horn, the electronic horn, which does that. And I like the internal horn. It's loud. It's loud, it makes noise, and saves me space on here. Having the key there also makes it a little bit of a safety thing where I can keep it from getting stolen by just taking the key out so that it makes it a little less attractive to a potential thief. So these little things are all pretty good for, you know, city commuting and city riding. The Grubhub order has been marked ready for pickup, which is good because I'm on the way there now. So yeah. One thing about this bike is it uses 14-inch tires, very small tires. My son's bike uses 14-inch tires. He's 4 years old. So that gives you a sense of just how tiny these tires are. Because the tires are small, you're also really low to the ground. So I'm kind of like, I'm sitting on it and I'm very low. I do think that if you're riding this, you do need to be comfortable with how you look because it's definitely a funny looking bike and you probably do look funny riding it. And the brakes on this bike, it uses 2 mechanical disc brakes. They'll do the job for what you're looking for a bike like this. You don't really need more than that. This bike would be good if I was like a college student. This would be a good bike for that because it's small, you can bring it into your place and it can get you around. If you're looking at a bike like this, you're looking at either a scooter or a bike like this. This bike actually it might be better to go with a mini bike. There's a little bit more versatility to it. And it does technically have some cargo capacity on the rear. Oh wait, let's check the top speed while I'm going. Okay, so here we got a little bit of a straightaway here. Let's see how fast we can get this bike up to. Because it does not have a speedometer. And we're going 16. So you know what? I think you can expect about 17 miles an hour. And if you're going on flat ground, maybe you'll get a little bit more. Okay, so we're pulling up here. Sohamo's right here. Oh, sorry. Hello, Grubhub for Luke. Thank you. Okay, and I do know where we're going. Drop this order off. Oh, we'll stick it on this here. Okay, well, we got that order delivered. And now we're just kind of waiting, I guess, because I didn't get anything else. It's kind of slow today. Yeah, so in terms of who this bike is best suited for, I would definitely be thinking about people who live in cities and have kind of shorter commutes. This is definitely not a bike you're going to want to take on a long commute, just because it's not going to be that fast. But for shorter commutes in cities, it'd be great. Like a college student, really a perfect bike. It's a food delivery bike. You can use it for a little bit, like the way I'm doing it, but you're not gonna be able to do a ton, like a huge amount of deliveries, just because it's gonna be too slow and the range will probably be not enough. For just getting around town, very nice. Obviously, you need to be pretty small. I'm thinking someone who is like under 200 pounds and ideally not super tall either. Definitely not a bike that you'll be pedaling a lot because first off, it's a single speed bike and the pedal assist is not terrific. And it's not a comfortable pedaling position because of how tiny the bike is. It would be like pedaling a little clown bike. As you can see right here, here I am pedaling right now. And I'm basically, my knees are almost hitting the handlebars. So if you're really tall, like my friend Thomas here, this bike might not work well for you. Oh, we just got this McDonald's order. Only paying $2, so no tip. But I'm just gonna take it since it's going very close anyway. Hopefully this will leave a door order. Let's see. Yep. It is a leave a door order, so at least I don't have to wait for them. So another person's bike is good for us. There's people like my mother. So my mom isn't the best at riding bikes, and she's really tiny. And so with all my regular e-bikes, she can't really ride them because she just can't like control it. But this bike she does, and this is actually the bike she uses when she comes to visit me because it's small and she can get around quickly with it. So if you're someone older who isn't like super confident biking, this would be not a bad bike to be considering. Okay, let's hope this McDonald's order is ready.
Thank you.
222.
Thank you, Sohamo.
Thank you. Okay, so we're just gonna go up the way a bit. So this $2 no tip McDonald's order, but it's only going a few blocks and it's leave at door, so it's fine. I didn't even know this was a house over here. I thought this was like a garage. Okay, we'll leave it right there. Now we've got an Uber Eats order from Sweet Green going to a hotel on the other side of the river. But yeah, for me, this bike is like one of my kind of quick get around bike, you know? I've got a couple bikes and scooters like that where they're just like ones I just hop on and go. And this one is exactly that for me. The thing with this bike is the way the battery is. The battery is huge compared to this bike, so, which makes me think maybe it has more range. The problem is you can't really tell what range you have because this here gives the battery indicator, but it's just a bunch of bars and it changes like as you are hitting the throttle. So like if I'm going uphill using the throttle, it'll drop down like there's no battery. But I think it's just because it's using a lot of battery to go up. And then when you stop throttling, it goes back to full again. So you're kind of guessing what the battery percentage is. I think the form factor of a mini e-bike is very useful in a space like this where there's a lot of urban riding going, you know, where I'm kind of cutting through a lot of like tiny spots. Having a little tiny bike like this really works out well. So the little mini e-bike form factor is something I am a very big fan of. The key though with these bikes is they need to be affordable. So I'm talking about they need to be like $400, $500 at the most. You're putting it at the same level as like an electric scooter. And so then you've got like a good comparison there. It's like, okay, because you know, you don't really compare this to like a bike because it's really more like a scooter. All right, we are here at Sweet Green.
Oh, I like your bike.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, is that one yours? I was looking at it. It's like, I kind of like these little kind of small bikes. Yeah, oh, this one's really small. Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, you can't,
Is this an extra seat?
you know, it does come with this extra seat, but I have no idea how would you use it because I wouldn't put two people on this bike. I think it would break.
Maybe a kid?
Maybe.
That's legal?
Maybe a kid, but I think they'd fall off, so I don't know. You'd have to be a really small person, I think. Yeah. This is Priya, right there. You know, one thing I've noticed with this bike is I do get a lot of people commenting on it because they say, oh, it's a funny bike, or like they like it because it's so little. Anyway, we just picked up this Uber Eats order, Sweet Green, going to the hotel across the other side of the river here. Let's take a look at what the delivery notes say. Meet at door to room. Okay. The delivery notes, they want me to bring it up to them, which should be fine. We gotta go to the hotel. And then since this bike is little, I should be able to just wheel it inside without the hotel staff noticing or caring. We are here. I always turn off the bike when I bring it inside just to avoid any potential issue with me accidentally turning the bike on. So you can see the advantage from delivery with a little tiny bike like this, because then you can easily bring it around into elevators and inside, no one even cares. With a bigger bike, it might be more noticeable. Doing? Yep, have a good one. We got that Sweet Green order completed, and I think I'm probably gonna call it there. Just because it's slowing down a bit. It's just kind of a little bit after the lunch rush now, and I'm gonna do some other things instead. So that is a look at the Sohamo A3. I hope you enjoyed following along as I took this out and did some DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grubhub deliveries with it. And you know, final thoughts. This is a really fun little mini e-bike. You have to understand what you're getting into when you get a bike like this. But I think as a commuting kind of urban city bike, this is really good. Think of it more as an electric scooter than as a bike. And you don't want to be too big if you're going to ride this, so you'd probably want to be a little bit on the smaller side and not too tall either. But overall, I think it's a good bike. I think it has its use cases, and I really like the form factor of a mini e-bike. So thanks for watching. If you liked what you see, hit that subscribe button, follow for more content like this, and until next time, I will see you guys all in the next video.